Hello, I'm Dr. Russell Dawn, President of Concordia University Chicago. Thank you for tuning in to today's Cougar Athletics broadcast. We take great pride in the strength of both our athletic and academic programs, which are rooted in our steadfast commitment to Jesus Christ. Dedicated to the liberal arts as a foundation of a high-quality college degree, we believe education should form individuals for service to their neighbors. This makes Concordia Chicago an exciting and fulfilling place to study, work, learn, and grow. Learn more today by visiting cuchicago.edu. Thank you, and go Cougars!
What's going on, Cougar fans, and welcome to this week's edition of CUC Men's Soccer Weekly. I'm Parker Kelly, coming to you live from the Cougar Sports Network, and this week I'm joined by assistant coach of the soccer team, Maz Shiraz Khan. Maz, we've been looking forward to this interview for quite a while. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Parker, for having me.
So this is your first year as assistant coach. Last year you were more in a student manager type role, got promoted over the offseason. Kind of talk about that promotion a little bit and your role with the team.
Yeah, when I joined the team last year, I was in a student manager role, and I was trying to learn more about the team and the guys. I didn't really know the team that well, but over the year, like this is my second year, and then we got to gel. I got to know the guys. We got along well. Obviously, we had a change of coach, but with Brad coming in, things took a good turn, and I think we are on a right path. We're learning every day. We are getting stronger. The team's getting to know each other more and more every day. So I think as a group, we are definitely more stronger every day, and definitely more stronger than what we were last year.
And let's go ahead and get into some game recaps. So last weekend, the team was on the road at Wisconsin Lutheran College. Now, despite the loss, there were some positive takeaways, and sophomore goalie Kyle Schultz got his first start of the season. He actually played the entire 90 minutes. He got a new career high 10 saves, What were your takeaways from his performance in his first start?
Yeah, Kyle is a sophomore. It's always special to see a young guy step up and bring such a big performance for the team. It was 0-0 at halftime. Kyle had 2 one-on-one saves in the first 5 minutes. He came big. He was vocal. He was talking to the guys. He took a couple of hits, but he took them. He was really strong for us. He kept the back line. It's special to see a guy like that step up because he can definitely go forward and be a leader for us in the next year or the coming game. So it's really special to see him perform.
And he's going to be the guy next year, so it's important that he gets those minutes now. And yesterday, the Cougars hosted IIT in what was a thriller. It was an excellent game in the second half. Brandon Arias really came onto the scene, those 2 goals, and the team was just right there on the cusp of victory. What is going to be the key going forward to really finish out the game and get that first victory?
Yeah, yesterday was a great game for us to learn about the opportunity to build the character of the team and how the mindset of our team is and how we can improve. Going down 2-0 once again after a couple of losses, it felt like it was going down more or less the same path, but I think we showed a lot of character yesterday. We showed a lot of determination and the ability to come back in a game. And guys didn't really give up, even though they were a lot better from what they were in the first half. They picked it up in the second half and they got 2 goals. Yes, we did give them despite some mistakes, but I think we came out really strong in the second phase of the second half. Brandon just stepped up. I was actually talking to him before the game, and I asked him how's he feeling about the game because he had a little niggle in his hamstring, and he said that he would hope that he would score. And well, the kid got 2 bangers. It's always nice to see a kid perform in his first year. Yes, he's a transfer, but he's comparatively very new to the team, so he stepped up. This just shows our character, and I think that we'll take a lot of positives from that, and the guys just need to learn that the game goes on for 90 minutes, and no matter what the scoreline is, you have to fight. And it was nice to see that yesterday. I think that's definitely we can take forward, and hopefully we'll see some dubs as we go forward in the season.
And I was on the call yesterday. It was a really impressive performance by him, stepped up in a big way for the team. Now the team is going to host St. Norbert College on Sunday. It's homecoming week. They're a tough team. Where are the guys mentally heading into the final month of regular season play?
Yeah, well, given that how our team is, the guys have had to take a lot of workload on themselves. The guys have really stepped up. It's been challenging for us physically, especially how they have to play a lot of minutes as compared to other players in the conference. But I think the guys have really stepped up. A lot of players on the team are doing a lot better than what they were doing in the start of the season. We are growing more and more in confidence. I think this is a great opportunity for us to win the game this weekend. St. Norbert is good. They just beat CUC, Concordia, Wisconsin. So we know they have a talented squad. We know they have talented players on their team. But I think that with how we are shaping up and how we are getting better every day and how the process is going, I think we have a really good chance of beating them, and I think it's going to be a dub weekend.
Now, you've made it very clear that you're a diehard Kansas City Chiefs fan. They're playing on Sunday Night Football against the New York Jets. Are you nervous at all about the game? Or I actually know the answer to this question, but let me rephrase it.
Yeah.
How many points are the Chiefs going to win by on Sunday?
Against the New York Jets, the Jets have a good defense, I'd say. They have no offense. So I think it's going to be, I think we'll have a couple of touchdowns. Pacheco's going to get a touchdown. There's going to be run play. Travis Kelce, sure, I think he's getting one. And here's my hot take. I think Rashid Rice is getting a touchdown. So 3 touchdowns minimum, we're getting that. So I think it's going to be a 20-plus point win.
Love the confidence.
Yeah.
Maz, thank you for joining us today, and best of luck on Sunday.
Thank you, Parker.
And make sure to check out the Cougars as they host St. Norbert College on Sunday. Kickoff is scheduled for 3:30 p.m. Central Time, and coverage can be found at our website at cucougars.com/coverage. I'm Parker Kelly signing off. We'll see you next week on CUC Men's Soccer Weekly. What's going on, Cougar fans, and welcome to Game 2 of today's soccer doubleheader. This time on the men's side between the visiting Green Knights of St. Norbert College and the Cougars of Concordia University, Chicago. I'm Parker Kelly, coming to you live from the Cougar Sports Network, joined up in the booth by Rafael Gonzalez. Raf, the Green Knights come in ranked 4th in the NAC. The Cougars, on the other hand, looking to get their first win of the season, first conference win of the season as well. What are they going to have to do against a formidable opponent in St. Norbert?
Well, today it's going to be a tough challenge for them against a very good St. Norbert team, particularly on the road so far in conference. They haven't lost a conference road game up to this point, but for the Cougars, they want to continue doing the same thing they did against ITT, which is, be competitive the majority of the game. Because remember, this was a team that was down 2-0 to them early on in the second half, and thanks to Brandon Arias' 2 unanswered goals, they were able to tie things up before in the end just falling short. So for them today, the key thing here is to play a full 90 minutes of good quality soccer for them. And if they do so, they will have a chance to beat this Green Knights squad.
As both starting lineups making their way out on the field, St. Norbert already in formation. They're wearing their yellow tops with white numbers and green bottoms. The Cougars, on the other hand, in their home all whites with maroon lettering. As now the Cougars are getting set up as well. Here in the first day of October, pretty warm day, about 80 degrees outside, sun is shining. Beautiful Sunday afternoon for some soccer, as it looks like St. Norbert will conduct the opening kickoff. Still waiting for that first whistle from the on-field officials. And we're underway. St. Norbert working in that first third, looking to move the ball down the field, or down the pitch, I should say. Cougars have a tough opponent, like we talked about, on their hands. St. Norbert ranked 4th in the NAC. Pretty good offensive team as well, as they also rank 4th in the NAC in shots by period. We know the Cougars have had their fair share of struggles defensively, so this will be a good test for them this afternoon.
It's going to be a big test for them against the St. Norbert team who just came out of a win this past week against Concordia, Wisconsin, 2-1. So they're looking to continue with momentum to have back-to-back road wins this week.
Now, good header right there from Andrew Lechuga, the graduate student from El Monte, California. We mentioned his name a couple times last Wednesday as the Cougars took on IIT, one of the unsung heroes of that match, despite the Cougars falling to the Scarlet Hawks 3-2. CUC looking to flip the script and get a big win here this afternoon. Nice defense right there from Brandon Arias. And that shot just goes right past the left of the goal, and the Cougars are going to get going on offense.
The key thing for the Cougars early on right here is to continue to play a really good style defensively, particularly in the back line. That's going to be crucial for them if they want to, continue to keep pace with the St. Norbert team, who, as you mentioned earlier, Parker, they've done a really good job, shooting shots on net.
Here we're going to get a first look at CUC goalie Kyle Schultz, the sophomore out of Pingree Grove, Illinois. He's making his 3rd start of the season. He's actually played the entire 90 minutes the previous 2 matches. He's been pretty solid in goals. The Cougars are trying to get him some more experience because he is the guy next year. And the other goalie on the roster, Joseph Perez, is actually playing in the field today. Really good utility player for this Cougars team, the 5th-year senior out of Crystal Lake, Illinois. Coach Callahan, in his first season with the Cougars, has decided that this is the best lineup going forwards, as St. Norbert with an opportunity. And they're going to get on the board first here in River Forest. A quick goal as that pass was made just to the left of Schultz, and Schultz looked like he didn't see that one coming as it just pinged inside that left corner, bottom left corner of the goal.
based off of our angle, it looked like potentially it might have been an own goal right here by the Cougars, but we'll wait for a confirmation for that. But that is not the ideal start that the Cougars were, looking for here in this one.
Looks like that shot was from John O'Connor, senior out of Algonquin, Illinois. At least that's what it's saying on our stats broadcast. Not entirely sure who the goal came from, but regardless, Rolf, you hit the nail on the head. Not the start you want from the Cougars, finding yourself down 1-0 within the first 4 minutes of the match.
So now it's going to be critical for them to be composed right here and not, start panicking. It's time for them to, take a breath right here and regroup and re-energize.
So officially, we got confirmation up here that the goal was scored by Dominic Lagona, number 24 in gold for St. Norbert. So that is his second goal of the season. Time of the goal came at that 3-minute and 4-second mark. So St. Norbert came out of the gates firing, and they get the first goal of the match. So it's been hard from what we've seen from this Cougars team so far. When they find themselves down and get those early deficits, been hard for them to come back. However, they have been playing a little bit better as of recently on offense. We saw in that last match versus IIT, Brandon Arias, the 2 goals scored for him, his first goals of the season, really came onto the scene for this team.
Yeah, he was clutch in their last game, obviously against ITT, scoring those 2 goals in a 5-minute span, to bring a deficit from being 2 goals down to tying it, letting it going. But, this is a Cougars team that majority of the year they haven't been able to, have any control of the game in the sense that be able to have a lead. So I think for them right here, they just need to continuously just play up to their standards right here and start making some good attacks.
And speaking of Arias, he's going to try to get a pass off to Pointer, who was streaking down the middle of the pitch. And St. Norbert's going to take the ball right back. Saw Arias trying to get it to Pointer, who is the leading goal scorer of this team with 4 on the season. He's also the leading shot taker with 33, and 22 of those shots have been shots on goal. So he's having a pretty stellar season as far as from an offensive perspective.
He's been the primary shot creator for this team. I mean, you mentioned it right there, 33 shots. To put it in comparison, the next closest player is Brandon Arias with 12, so he has been single-handedly the number 1 guy that these Cougars look for to find them a goal.
But something that has been noticeable is Pointer is starting to get double-teamed and even triple-teamed a little bit more, as we see the save from Schultz right there. So that means that he's going to have to kind of get some other players involved, and that's why it was so big for Arias to get those 2 goals in that last game.
Yeah, Pointer's been primarily the number 1 striker for this team, being the sole striker up top. And because of that right there, those 2 center backs of St. Norbert's, what they're going to try to do today is double team him, as you mentioned, not allow him any space to roam around in the middle of the pitch, which is going to cause, him to not be involved in much of the build-up of the play. So for the key for Pointer is going to, play a bit more back to the ball and try to start building up the play rather than waiting for the play to build up itself.
That pass is going to be deflected off of one of the St. Norbert players and out of bounds. Last touched by number 24, Dominic Lagona. So we'll get a throw in from Lechuga as Pointer gets the header. It's going to go out of bounds. Cougars will stay on offense as they try to get out of their own territory right here and start getting the ball down the pitch a little bit. We're going to get a goal kick right here from Schultz. Schultz approaches the ball, sends it deep. Closest Cougar in the vicinity was Pointer. He missed the header. Now a couple whistles blown. Looks like St. Norbert's going to go back on offense.
Yeah, we saw a pointer right there trying to use, his frame right there, his body to, try to win the ball back. And unfortunately, just gets called for the foul right there.
Now St. Norbert seems that they've really dominated possession here in the early going of the opening half. Going to throw in from the Green Knights. Roberto Romero trying to do some work and take it away defensively. Mentioned Romero a couple of times. The transfer coming in from Chicago, Illinois. He's been in the starting lineup ever since he's been with the Cougars. Been one of the foundational pieces in the midfield for this team. As that goes off the foot of Arias. Tries to get it to Pointer. We see just a couple of Green Knights coming over to take the ball away from him. It seems that every time he gets his foot on the ball, just gets swarmed.
Yeah, that time you saw 3 Green Knights players right there just swarming up to him right there. And the issue is that the wingers of this Cougars team, they really like to play out wide, and create space, not play narrow with one another. That's going to be something that they need to start implementing right here in this game to get Pointer more, involved right here. Because otherwise, he's just getting attacked on either side by St. Norbert's back line.
And St. Norbert working with it in the first third. Lots of green grass in front of them. As that pass gets to number 11, Stefan Perharda. That one's going to roll all the way to Schultz, who will come out of goal and roll it to Arias. Tries to get that one to Smariglio. And now Pointer takes a tumble. He quickly gets back onto his feet. And the Cougars looks like they'll stay on offense.
What we're seeing from the Green Knights right here is what they've been doing so far here early on. Whenever the Cougars have the ball, in their own first third right here, they've done a really good job, pressuring them. A lot of, counter pressing, not allowing these Cougars backline players to really have a moment and make a good pass. They're just immediately pressuring them into immediately quicking a decision.
Which is a good defensive strategy from head coach Derek Rose, who is in his 10th season with this St. Norbert program.
And the only way you could implement that type of style, is by having, particularly forwards who are really athletic and have really good stamina, which is something that this Green Knights, attack they're shown really well.
Now that one's going to roll to Schultz. We'll get a goal kick. And Giannis gets a pass off looking for Pointer, but St. Norbert is just able to take it right back, and that'll roll to Ryan Fleming, who is in goal for the Green Knights. The junior out of New Berlin, Wisconsin, went to Eisenhower High School. And now Norbert working with it in the midfield. Kicked over on the far side. I believe that is Giannis who's trying to track it down. He knocks over that post over in the corner of the field.
It's a nice job there by Giannis right there, shielding the ball away from the Green Knight attacker right there, using his frame at 6 feet tall, and the result will be a goal kick.
Sorry, that was number 6, Leonel Areola. Now a goal kick for Schultz. Sends it over to the far side of the pitch. Rolls into that Green Knights bench. Now St. Norbert will get going on offense once again. And Roth, if you're observing this game, what's St. Norbert trying to do offensively?
They're trying to play a little bit through the middle, which is right now where the Cougars have done a really good job clamping down this attack, in the middle of the pitch. The Green Knights have done really well in their very few opportunities to, play really far separated from one another. But up to this point, Cougars have done a lot more better job right here, sort of regaining their defensive prowess right here after conceding the opening goal early on.
The Cougars have done better job defensively. You're right, after conceding that first goal. And now it looks like they're trying to kind of embody the same mindset that St. Norbert has, really flocking to the ball, playing that suffocating defense. One of the keys to get yourself back into this game will be offensively. The Cougars haven't been in that final third really too much at all here in this half. As Schultz with another goal kick intended for Romero.
You've hit it a nail on the head right there, Parker. They haven't had much opportunities in the final third, considering how, the last game they had 12 shots against ITT, and 5 of those, were on target. So the Cougars, this is a team that knows how to get into the final third, but so far today they just haven't had much luck getting there.
So far, looking at the box score, the Green Knights have been able to get 3 shots off, one of them being a shot on goal. The Cougars, on the other hand, have not been able to get a shot off. And that's going to be very important, and you got to create those opportunities to get those shots. As this could be dangerous as Schultz comes out of goal, and St. Norbert is going to get goal number 2 of the afternoon to take a commanding 2-0 lead.
There was a slight hesitation right there by Schultz when he was moving away from his net right there, trying to get the ball. He stopped for 1 quick second right there, and that was all the St. Norbert attacker needed right there to convert on the spot. And just like that, it's a 2-0 lead for St. Norbert.
2-0 lead for St. Norbert. That last goal coming from Tyler Bonin off the left foot, hits the bottom left of the goal, the same spot as the first goal. That is Bonin's 5th goal of the season, which is second behind his teammate Joe Mead, who has 7 goals on the season. And they're going to award the assist to teammate Jonathan Hill, who gets his first assist of the season as well. So good job of St. Norbert using a couple members of their team and playing very unselfish soccer. Spreading the love, and a nice save right there from Schultz, who has to quickly get back up on his feet. It prevented a much worse situation, as it looks like St. Norbert might have had another opportunity to tack on 3. Good job by the sophomore.
A tremendous save right there by Schultz on the shot there by Mead, and the follow-up shot right there. I couldn't convert on it, so Schultz doing a really good job right here, making up for, his mistake right there on the previous goal. And a terrific save.
Terrific save for sure by Schultz.
Schultz came into the day with a little bit over of a 63% save percentage, so he's done a really good job, for this Cougars team, as the #1 keeper.
Schultz has recorded 35 saves so far in the season, which is #1 on the team. So sophomore doing some good work back in goal. Proves that he's going to have a bright future for the Cougars as he gets another save right there. Sliding to his left, picking up the ball. Now we're going to get a goal kick as he'll allow the Cougars to get set up offensively.
That was another nice save there by Schultz, diving right there on his left. So just like that, 2 quick saves right here by Schultz has kept this game, from getting any worse for the Cougars.
Now St. Norbert working with it on the far side of the pitch. Now going to send it deep, looking for Laguna. Now Laguna has Smeriglio draped all over him. Good defense from Joey Smeriglio, the sophomore out of Park Ridge, Illinois.
So the key thing we're watching right here with St. Norbert, what they're starting to do a lot right now is how a lot of long balls go into the final third, which is immediately creating opportunities for them to quickly attack, all thanks to a quick build-up of play.
Now the first corner kick conducted of the afternoon will be by St. Norbert. I believe that was number 7, Kevin Ramirez, who conducted the corner kick. So an opportunity squandered by the Cougars. Really nice job defensively. Now another goal kick from Schultz. He'll send this one short, looking for Evan Perez. Evan Perez will turn around and try to get it to, it's like Velasquez, or excuse me, Areola. Now that pass intended for Yanez, as St. Norbert defense making things difficult. Now Yanez back with the ball in possession. That's stripped away. Now St. Norbert will try to get things rolling. Looks like that's going to be an offsides.
So on the last attack right there by the Cougars, what they started doing was doing a lot of quick, short passes, almost like a triangle. What I mean by that is they have 3 players quickly passing to one another in very close proximity, which is helping them move the ball a lot more quicker, which therefore helps build the build-up of the play. So I think that's something that we want to see right here, the Cougars continually doing here in this first half.
Smart offensive strategy for sure. So now it's 2 offsides penalties called on St. Norbert, 0 on the Cougars. So CUC winning in that category here in the present moment. Header right there from Lechuga goes out of bounds. St. Norbert's going to get the ball right back. Now we'll get a throw-in from the Green Knights. Header from Yanez. It's able to be corralled by Lekowitz. Now trying to get it to Joseph Perez, who we mentioned is playing in the field today. Gets it to his younger brother, Evan. And Joseph Perez is going to take a hard fall. Looks like he's holding the back of his head. He's able to get onto his feet. Definitely a good sign if you're the Cougars, as one of the common themes for this team has been lack of depth. You look over at the St. Norbert bench, have a considerably more amount of players on the bench than the Cougars. Cougars cannot afford to have too many injuries. And a chance right there from the Cougars. No good. Just goes right past the left of the goal.
That was a near calculated mistake right there by the netminder Fleming. And, going back to what you were mentioning, Parker, about injuries itself, that's the key of having like a utility player like Joseph Perez, so you could play him in the midfield or in a goalkeeper. And right now, losing him would be devastating for this Cougars team because right now, as you mentioned it, there's just not much depth right now that this team has.
Perez, the fifth-year senior, also the captain of this team, so a very vocal guy. As that is going to be goal number 3, just right past the outstretched left arm of Schultz. Hits that right corner of the net, and just like that, St. Norbert is up 3-0.
Yeah, those are the goals right there. As a goalkeeper, speaking, for myself right there, those are the ones that hurt the most right there. When you grab a piece of the ball, and unfortunately, it still goes into the net, and that's what happened in that case with Schultz, and the goal will be credited for Joe Mead.
Joe Mead will be accredited with the goal, his 8th of the season. He is arguably the best offensive player on this St. Norbert squad. We knew it wouldn't be long before he got involved. He's played in all 11 games for the Green Knights, scored 15 points, which also is first on the team, and 16 shots on goal. He's having himself quite a good season.
Not only that, he has not only a goal, as we mentioned, but also an assist today. So he's been responsible for at least 2 of the goals for this Green Knights squad.
And they're going to give the assist to number 7, Kevin Ramirez. Time of the goal, 22 minutes and 9 seconds. And now Pointer working with it in the middle of the field. Dumps it off to Evan Perez. Now going to be sent back to Schultz, who comes out of goal for a quick moment. Gets it back to Arias. And now Evan Perez with a full head of steam. Tries to get it to Romero, who slide attempt. He gets the ball taken away by the Green Knights. That's going to be sent right back to number 28, Jack Swissionis. And another opportunity for the Green Knights as he has Arias spinning in circles, and goal number 4 of the day. The Green Knights get on the board once again. That goal from number 13, Tyler Bonin, who gets his 2nd goal of the afternoon. And, Roth, there's not much stopping this Green Knights offense right now.
And we saw right there the Green Knights, exposing the back line right there of the Cougars. And a good job right there by Bonin right there, going from his right foot onto his left, stopping for a moment and taking a really nice shot right there in the bottom left-hand side of the net, giving the Green Knights their 4th goal right here of the half already.
It has been a rough start to the game defensively, and we've talked about the defensive woes for this Cougars team, and it's really being exploited here in this game this afternoon. St. Norbert already up 4-0 on CUC. Green Knights, like we mentioned, coming into today's game, sitting at 4-4-2, a perfect 500 record, but it's good enough for 4th in the conference. They're right behind Dominican University, who is the Division Street rival for the Cougars. But this is a team who we talked about. They're 4th in the NAC in shots by period. They're also 6th in the NAC, which is in the top half of the conference in goals by period. But if you're watching this game today, you would think they're a lot higher, as they already have 4 goals in the first 25 minutes of play.
Not just 4 goals, but 4 goals out of 6 shots on target, 9 in total for them. This game has been very efficient up to this point.
And that's really been the storyline of today's game. The Cougars have yet to get a single shot off. It's proven to be very costly, and you pair that with struggles on the defense, especially in that back line, it's not a recipe for success.
Yeah, you mentioned, just they haven't had a shot yet so far in this game. In the first half in their last game, they had 4 shots against ITT, but they were able to generate a couple of chances, throughout the game. And so far, we're almost half an hour into this first half, and they haven't had one up to this point.
St. Norbert with another opportunity, but a save from Schultz as that one went directly into his hands. As we are now under 20 minutes to go here in the opening half, as Schultz boots that one looking for Romero. And now the Green Knights really taking their time. Now they've shown the ability to score and score quickly, but they've also been able to really be patient and wait for the perfect shot. We see that they're not just taking a bunch of quantity shots like you've mentioned, but quality shots. It's proven to benefit them so far.
They've been able to have a lot of shots in part based off their just the time they've had so far, just in possession of this game, in part because of the Cougars having to, regroup every single time they've lost possession just because of the quick attack that this St. Norbert team has been able to produce so far.
Now that ball is going to roll right into the gloves of Schultz.
It's important right now for the Cougars to, not look at the scoreboard right now, being down 4-0 right now. It's all about just, taking in one play at a time, one attack, one build up, and just going from there. Looking at things in the small picture rather than the big picture.
And a little bit of an entanglement between Fleming and Smariglio on the left side of the pitch, right over by the St. Norbert goal. That ball is going to roll out of bounds, and we'll get a throw-in from Evan Perez. And we talked about how the Cougars not been able to get into that final third, but what'll be the key for the Cougars to kind of get in that area to get a shot off?
It all goes back to what I was mentioning, early on, a lot of quick, short passes. Because the thing is, they cannot individually, as a team, be able to dribble the ball past this St. Norbert's midfield, particularly in their back lines. But they need to do a lot of quick, short passes and then sort of immediately start to build up a play quickly. Because if they go really slow pace, that's going to allow the St. Norbert team to really be able to clamp down on them, which has been sort of what we've been seeing here so far up to this in this half.
And now St. Norbert tries to get a deep pass off. Good defense from Lechuga, who I'd say has had a pretty solid last couple of games, at least defensively, doing a lot of stuff that doesn't necessarily show up on the stat sheet. It's just more so the effort plays.
Yeah, defenseman right there. Don't get enough love as they should, because primarily, we look at the stat sheet, and we always focus on the attackers and the midfielders, but defensemen are most critical when it comes to having success in this team. And so far, Lechuga's done a really good job in these past few games, sort of trying to become the leader of this back line defensively.
Been around the block a while. He's in his 6th year with CUC Athletics. Played a couple of different sports, football, men's lacrosse, and soccer. Kind of a do-it-all man. As that pass is going to roll to Fleming in goal. Fleming has not had to do a lot, to say the least, in goal for the Green Knights.
It's been a rather quiet day so far for the Green Knight goalkeeper, and it all comes thanks to the work of his defense so far.
Yeah, that defense of St. Norbert has been very suffocating, so Fleming has them to thank. In his 29 minutes of play, hasn't recorded a save, hasn't let up a goal, so just speaks to the level of defense that St. Norbert is playing with here this afternoon. We mentioned, too, that this is the second game of a soccer doubleheader. The women's team just fell to the Green Knights by a score of 1-0. It led up a goal in the last couple of minutes of the match.
As we see on the Cougars bench, it looks like they're going to make a substitution right here at the next stoppage of play.
Be the first substitution made, I believe, of the day for the Cougars. And we'll get you that here in a second. Some action still going on the field. Again, the Cougars trailing the Green Knights 4-0, trying to generate really anything they can on offense. Hasn't been much today. And St. Norbert with another opportunity. Good save from Schultz.
Nice save once more by Schultz right there on the left-hand side of that right there. Results for another corner right here for the Green Knights. So far, Schultz, that'll be his 6th save of the day.
So now 6 saves for the sophomore. And Schultz, he's doing a decent job back there, just hasn't had a lot of help from that Cougar back line. St. Norbert is practically being able to get whatever they want off.
Yeah, you can't really, blame Schultz, considering the fact that while he has conceded 4 goals, he hasn't gotten much assistance from his offense so far. They haven't had a shot yet up to this point. That's been the biggest difference so far between both teams.
Now we're going to get the Cougars are going to go back on offense as Giannis tries to get a pass to Alexander Lekowitz, who is trying to find Perez on that far sideline. Not able to get the pass to him. St. Norbert's going to take back over. Looks like we get a couple of substitutions for St. Norbert as Peyton Schills coming in for Tyler Bonin, as well as William Van de Ecker coming in for Joe Meade, and Luke Beringer coming in for Kevin Ramirez. St. Norbert been able to muster 12 shots, 9 of which have been on goal, and obviously the 4 goals. Cougars still with no shots attempted in this game today. See that the Cougars, before coming into this game, have been able to get 95 shots off in their previous 9 matches, which ranks 8th in the NAC. So this is a team that also has their share of struggles offensively as they're trying to figure out kind of the chemistry between teammates and offense. It's an opportunity right there for St. Norbert. Good play from Julian Yanez.
That was an excellent, nice little challenge right there by Yanez right there, getting the ball right there out of play, while also not sliding the St. Norbert attacker as expert defending right there in the box.
Now a corner kick from St. Norbert. One of the players tried to get a header, just missed the ball. Cougar fans really catching their breath. As Schultz is going to send it short to Evan Perez, who just sends that one out of bounds. We'll also get a change at goalie, as that happened a couple of minutes ago. Number 31, Zach Holmstrom, coming in for Ryan Fleming. So Coach Rhodes trying to get a couple different goalies in there, getting some fresh legs into the match, trying to get Holmstrom some game experience. The junior out of Rice Lake, Wisconsin. See, this is Holmstrom's first appearance on the season.
Right, there was a swinging cross right there by number 19, Anthony Eller right there. There were several players in the box right there. Just crosses just a bit too high, along with just a bit too much power, which resulted right there in no one getting the opportunity. And
Cougars looking very depleted right now, exhausted, having to play a lot of minutes. And, you know, it goes back to when you don't have a lot of depth, that forces your starters to sometimes have to play the entire game.
yeah, I mean, just look at right now the current members of both teams right now. The Cougars have only used one substitution so far, while St. Norbert, they've used 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like 7 players so far up to this point. That just talks about the depth right there and just the freshness that these players for St. Norbert are able to have, you know, not much fatigue. While this Cougars team, as the game continues to go on, the more and more tired they are going to feel, especially, you know, in today's conditions, considering it is hot and sunny.
As Schultz with nice play right there to prevent anything offensively for the Green Knights. Schultz has done a good job of making a bad situation worse, I will say. Nice play from Yanez just to clear it out, get it out of bounds. Time winding down here in River Forest.
You mentioned, you know, about Schultz right here. You know, obviously being a sophomore, you know, so hopefully, ideally, you look to have him for another 2 more years after this year. So far, we've seen moments of brilliance so far from him this year that gives you the confidence, you know, for Coach Callahan and the rest of the squad, you know, that he will be a goalkeeper that this team needs moving forward.
Schultz will have 2 years of eligibility remaining. Won't get the COVID year. I believe the last class to receive the COVID year was class of 2020. Schultz was a freshman last year, so 4 years of eligibility for him. So, like you mentioned, Rolf, hopefully sticks around for 2 more years, and it is definitely a bright spot for the Cougars team, having a goalie like Schultz, who has already showed some flashes of how productive he can be in the coming years. And now the Cougars, for one of the first times today in that final third, that pass from Lekowitz, I believe, goes off the foot of Smariglia. Now St. Norbert making things difficult, making life difficult for the Cougars.
Yes, Smariglia right there on the cross. Just wasn't able in time to readjust his footing right there. And that's the first time we've seen any sort of resemblance to this Cougars team in the final third.
We mentioned it's the first day of October, which means it's Breast Cancer Awareness Month. It's Pink Out Day here at Concordia Stadium for today's soccer doubleheader. As Pointer does a good job of taking it away, and he's racing down the field, has 2 Green Knights on him, tries to get the shot off, but slips and falls. See, he was looking to get a shot off. Was kind of frustrated at that sequence of events. He had a full head of steam, 2 Green Knights on him.
That all started right there by him, you know, doing a nice job right there, getting the ball, and immediately right there, using the pace right there to get past, you know, splitting between both defenders of St. Norbert right there. Unfortunately, you know, just slipped right there. It looked like originally, you know, he got tripped up from behind, but instead it's just going to be a corner right here for the Cougars.
So first corner kick of the day for CUC. That shot goes over the net, way over the net. And St. Norbert with the stop.
That's a nice effort right there from the header, from the defenseman right there in Giannis. We've seen him this year, be able to convert a couple of goals right there off of those headers, including one a few weeks ago against Lakeland there that time. Just a bit too much, power right there on the shot, slightly bit inaccurate, but that's the best, sequence we've seen from this Cougars team, attacking this Green Knights team.
That was the first shot of the day for the Cougars, coming off the foot of Julian Giannis, as offside's going to be called. Third time that penalty has been called on St. Norbert. Now a free kick awarded to Brandon Arias. Kicks it with his left foot, looking for Romero. And now Joseph Perez trying to pin down a defender who's on his back. Last touched by St. Norbert before it goes out of bounds, which means we'll get a throw in from Romero. Actually, it will be Lechuga who conducts the throw in. Romero, his teammate, dumped it off to him.
I expect here a long throw in from Lechuga, and that's what happens here.
St. Norbert with the clear out. And now St. Norbert with the opportunity. A good defense right there from Julian Yanez. It looks like number 15, Peyton Shills, was one-on-one with Yanez. And really good defensive play just to knock it away from him.
That was such a tremendous job right there by Giannis right there, retreating back for the ball right there. Did an excellent job once more, defending well in the box. And instead of allowing, St. Norbert having a good quality shot right here, they're going to force instead just a corner.
Now the fourth corner kick of the afternoon for the Green Knights. So a lot of players crowded in the area, but the Cougars are going to come up with the stop. Another goal kick right here from Kyle Schultz as we approach the 2-minute marker here in the first half. Schultz approaches the ball, looking for Joseph Perez. And now Smariglio working with it in the mid-third, trying to get it to Pointer, who, again, is just swarmed by the Green Knights. And you could tell that St. Norbert's really done their homework. They know how good of a player offensively Pointer is. It seems that every time he even touches the ball, he's just – a couple of Green Knights just really flock to him.
Smariglio and Pointer right there had a nice little thing going right there. A nice little, tic-tac-toe passing between both of them right there. But as you mentioned, once more, just – the stout work right there of the defense of St. Norbert, just stopping Pointer right there on the point of attack.
Now the Green Knights working with it. Solid defense from the Cougars, trying to prevent anything going into that final third. St. Norbert's offense is really high octane right now. We mentioned 4 goals, 13 shots, 9 of which have been shots on goal. The Cougars only 1 shot. And now Evan Perez dumps it off to his big brother Joseph. And now Joseph Perez send that one. And St. Norbert, 15 seconds to go in the first half. Schultz is just going to track that one down. The Cougars are just going to let time wind down, and we're heading to halftime. St. Norbert, a 4-0 lead. And Roth, not much to talk about besides the dominant offensive performance we saw from the Green Knights. 13 shots, 9 shots on goal, and the 4 goals. And really, it's just been their offense has been moving and very high octane right now.
Their offense right now has just been absolutely, flawless here in the opening half. We mentioned 13 shots, 9 of them on target, 4 goals so far. It's going to require them, the Cougars to make massive adjustments right here in this halftime intermission to, come back and make the score a bit more respectable.
And the Cougars have had their shares, their share of struggles on defense, but right now they need to play a little bit of catch-up. So if you're Coach Callahan, what are you going to say to your team in the locker room to get them motivated to get something going on offense?
For them to ignore what happened in the first half, particularly the score. Right now, the second half, brand new. Just pretend it's, scoreless 0-0 between both teams and, just look for some positive, take a look from this game and look forward to the next one. Just take it 1 minute at a time, here in the second half. And also look for, try to get a couple of players, haven't played so far today. Get them in the game right here, see if they can become a difference here in the second half.
Well, we're going to go ahead and let both players head to their respective locker rooms. Once again, St. Norbert leads the Cougars 4-0. You're listening to the Cougar Sports Network. We'll be back for more second half action.
Concordia University Chicago is a Christ-centered Lutheran university where truth, freedom, and vocation form students for lives of influence and service for the common good. Our university offers a wide variety of undergraduate and graduate degree options that are available in person and online. That means we have a program designed for you. Whether you're a high school student, an adult returning to complete your degree, or someone looking to enhance your credentials and prepare for career growth. As a member of this university community, you'll also find support in your spiritual and personal life so you can grow in the faith and discover ways to serve others. To start your next journey with us, visit cuchicago.edu today.
I'm Monica here at Concordia University Chicago, and we're here outside of Concordia Hall. Concordia Hall is the university's newest residence hall, right on the edge of campus, perfect for students who want to explore the nearby downtown of Oak Park and River Forest. The flexible suite-style living in fully furnished bedrooms lets students choose what works best for them. Every floor is complete with a community lounge and full common kitchen, with a kitchenette, microwave, sink, and refrigerator. The first floor offers the Victory Lounge, connecting to 2 additional residence halls, with no shortage of ways to relax. You're also right next to an open, outdoor plaza, better known as Victory Lane. So now we're here in Concordia Hall's suite-style dorm room, and this is a really nice place to just hang out and chill. And since it's so big, there's plenty of room to spread out and do your homework and just relax. So now making our way into one of the bedrooms, there's plenty of space in this room for you and your roommate. A lot of times students will move the desks so that they've got their separate study space, but my roommate and I, we get along really well, so we can just work together here in the same space. Sometimes I like doing art as well, as you can see by the painting here. It's a 16 by 10 feet space, and most rooms on campus are 10 by 12 feet. So it's really nice to have a little extra space to work with here in Concordia Hall. So this hall is super close to the chapel and the Kennedy Community Center, which has the new Crossroads Dining Hall. So the location is super convenient. And I really love the city scene too. The location here is the closest on campus to the Oak Park River Forest downtown area, which has a ton of great stores and restaurants. Speaking of the city scene, I adore the view from this lounge because you can see the Chicago skyline right there. Concordia Hall at Concordia University Chicago.
CUC nursing student and choose to stand tall for healing at a university that places Christ at the center and embraces teaching students to live a life fulfilled by purpose and meaning. Concordia University Chicago's new Bachelor of Science in Nursing degree is an innovative and rigorous 4-year program that will prepare you to rise to the daily challenges of a rewarding nursing career and serve a greater cause. Our newly built modern simulation center features 4 distinct spaces: a skills attainment lab, multi-specialty intensive care spaces, a health assessment learning center, and a simulated home environment. Due to our close proximity to many world-class teaching hospitals, CUC's clinical rotations offer an abundance of diverse and real-world experiences. Learn more about earning your BSN at a Christ-centered university today.
Cougar fans, thanks for tuning in to today's game. For more information on the men's soccer program, head to cucougars.com. We hope to see you at our next game.
And we're back in River Forest for some second half action as St. Norbert College Green Knights lead the Concordia University Chicago 4-0. And Parker Kelly joined by Rafael Gonzalez in the booth. Raf, it's a new half, and sometimes that means some more creativity on the offensive end for the Cougars, and something they desperately need right now. Taking a quick look at the box score, Cougars only were able to get one shot off in the first half, which I believe may be a new season low for the team. What are they going to have to do to make that number go up in the second?
Well, in order for them to do that here, they're going to need to, start creating some more opportunities right here, obviously, with only having one shot in the first half. And the way they do so is just by, having to go a lot more quick in terms of tempo of the way how they want to play. Right now they're playing a bit more slow and methodical, which unfortunately up to this point hasn't been able to work against, St. Norbert. So expect them to do a lot more quick passing right here. I want to see them particularly do a little more of playing out wide on both sides of the pitch, like the touch lines on both sides. I think that's something we want to look forward here in the second half. And I think if they do that, they can start, doing a lot more crosses into the box and hope that, someone like Pointer right there using his height right now at 6'2" to really try to get a header in. Just a couple of chances, sort of to see what happens in this half.
Maybe that would work because it does look a little congested as the Cougars are trying to get passes off. And you mentioned the slow, methodical possessions. Maybe speeding that up a little bit because it is go time. You find yourself down 4 goals at the end of halftime. And on the other hand, St. Norbert offensively has looked amazing. And they've had that mix of, they've been patient, looking for the right times to score. And then there have been a couple times where they've taken advantage of those lapses in the Cougars defense right away. But they've really been great on both sides of the ball.
They have so far. And, more importantly, you mentioned how they've been able to create so many opportunities. Well, so far, you look at the first half, they had 5 players on this team either contributed with a goal or an assist. So there's a lot of talent on the Green Knights squad right here. But for the Cougars, it's just key right here to just let's get 1 goal. And then let's look forward to get a second and a third right here. They can't look at this as we're down by 4 goals, which is let's get 1 and let's move from there.
And we are underway here in the second half. We forgot to mention it's homecoming weekend. It's been a fun week full of festivities. Always a great time for homecoming on a college campus. As the Cougars really trying to turn things around here in the second half. St. Norbert will start with ball in their possession. Really have done a nice job all day just really sharing the love and passing the ball around, and not those short intermediate passes, but sometimes those long passes as well, like the one we see right there. St. Norbert with a potential opportunity. Good clear out from Arias as he gets it to, I believe that is Giovanni Velasquez, who has a number change, it looks like. Usually he's listed at 12 on the roster. He's wearing number 5 today. And now Romero trying to make something happen. St. Norbert going to take right back over on offense. And now Lekowitz tries to get it over on the far side to Smariglio. He's just going to try to do it himself. That ball's going to head out of bounds. Looks like a Green Knight touched it last, so we'll get a throw in from the Cougars. Taking things outside, trying to find any holes in that St. Norbert defense, to find different ways to attack. Just going to send it right back to goalie Kyle Schultz, who has played pretty decent today. 6 saves. Obviously has allowed those 4 goals, but still has had some bright spots here today.
I think that's the key, though. Besides, conceding the 4 goals, he's had made several really nice saves so far for this, Cougars team. So he's kept them, in it up to this point, and right now, I think the key right now is just moving forward, for Schultz. Ignore what happened in the first half, quick memory change, and just, start the second half and continue doing what he's done so far. We're just doing a really nice job making already 6 saves.
Now we'll get a free kick from Arias, who we mentioned had the 2 goals, and the Cougars' last matchup versus IIT, his first goals of the season, really stepped up in place of Pointer, who has, despite his pretty solid success on the offensive end, has struggled as of late. Brandon Arias had some big shoes to fill, and he did just that on Wednesday, and now the Cougars really looking for somebody new to potentially step up.
Yeah, because so far, they will have 1 shot in this game. That was from a header from Julian Giannis, a defenseman. So it's been relatively quiet, unproductive day so far, but there's still a lot here, time remaining for this Cougars team to start generating some opportunities right here.
And now St. Norbert racing down the field. Good defense from the Cougars, making St. Norbert work for it, and that shot hits directly into the hands of Schultz, who comes up with the save, his 7th of the afternoon.
That was a good save right there from Schultz, from the shot right there from the Dutch midfielder, number 18, William van der Keur. It was a good job by Schultz right there. Good positioning to make the stop.
Now St. Norbert with an opportunity. That shot over the goal. I believe that was the 15th shot of the day from the Green Knights, vastly outweighing the shot number from the Cougars, still sitting at 1, and you mentioned that came from a defenseman in Julian Yanez. Cougars have to have some other players step up.
There's the issue right now for the Cougars is that, you have to do one of 2 things. Either you start playing a lot more aggressive attacking, which is going to send a lot more players upward, which is going to allow for this St. Norbert to expose the back line of this Cougars team. They push them too high up the pitch. The problem is, if they don't do so, they're going to continue to play more of this conservative, defensive-minded approach. It isn't going to allow them to be able to create opportunities. And that so far has been the case.
And now, good clear out right there from St. Norbert. They haven't had to worry about CUC offensively too much in this game. It's been more so flipped around as the Cougars have had a great task on their hands trying to contain this highly potent Green Knight offense. And it looks like free kick has been awarded to Everett Sager after a foul on Arias.
Offsides right there.
Now another offsides called. That is the 4th offsides on the St. Norbert Green Knights. And it looks like Joseph Perez shoved to the ground by number 14, William Jens.
Small little push off right there results in free kick. And these are the opportunities here that the Cougars have been waiting to have here. This is a golden one.
And now Evan Perez tracks it down, sends it back outside to Arias. And that suffocating Green Knights defense is on display right now. That shot attempt from Lekowitz just hits the top post of the goal. Excellent shot selection right there from Lekowitz, a couple inches lower, and that's goal number 1 for the Cougars.
A shot from 20 yards plus deep right there from Lekowitz on his right foot. It just hit the crossbar right there, the goalkeeper's best friend. Otherwise, had that gone in, that would have been probably the goal of the year for this Cougars team. You know, Lekowitz, he had a tremendous goal against Lakeland a few weeks back, similar to just the shot he attempted right here. So there might be some things we might be seeing right here from Lekowitz to have another long shot potentially right here, and maybe that time might go in the net.
Like Pointer, Lekowitz isn't afraid to let it rip from outside. Definitely a deep shot from him. And you mentioned the crossbar goalie's best friend, as Zach Holmstrom still in goal for the Green Knights. We saw him relieve Ryan Fleming about midway through that first half. Maybe a little less than midway. Now a St. Norbert player down on the ground. That was number 23, Ben Swissionis. He's back up on his feet.
Yeah, he just got, sandwiched right there between the two Cougars, players right there. Results of a free kick right here upcoming.
Free kick for the Green Knights. And an opportunity for St. Norbert. Cougars trying to just get a clear out right here. Can't afford to let up any more goals. Already down by 4. Time is ticking here in the half. They need to get going. Something also to note, the 2 St. Norbert goalies we've seen today both have a combined 0 save, and that just really speaks to the level of defense that the Green Knights are playing right now.
Ideally, when your goalkeeper is not making a save, as the opposition, you hope that, you've converted on a couple opportunities, a couple of goals, but so far, they haven't had to do much up to this point. They've gotten a shot here in the second half, the Cougars, but it's been relatively quiet so far for both Fleming and Wallstrom in this entire game.
Meanwhile, on the other side, Kyle Schultz in goal for the Cougars, 7 saves. The Cougars, as a team, rank first in the NAC in saves with 54 coming into today's matchup, which is a good and bad thing, right? It's a good thing because you've had solid goal play. Also a bad thing because if that back line is allowing that many shots, that could be an issue.
And there's so many, shots that, both Schultz and Perez could stop, so far this year. And it's tough, as a goalkeeper when you're continuously game in and game out being tasked, to not concede. And if you do concede, you only concede maybe 1 or 2 goals in hopes that your team will be able to score, on the same level as the opposition. But it's been not easy for this Cougars team so far today and nor majority of the year up to this point.
This Cougars really seeking that first win, sitting at 0-9, which ranks bottom last in the conference. And on the other side, we mentioned this earlier, St. Norbert sitting at 4-4-2, looking to pick up their 5th win. They're currently sitting at 4th in the NAC. And we talked about the importance of conference wins, where you really can't overlook any opponent in the conference, and every conference win is vital heading into the postseason. We see a couple whistles blown. A St. Norbert player was down on the ground. Looks like we will get a stoppage in play. Ralph, what did it look like from up here in the booth?
It looked like a foul right there was committed by Evan Perez. The question is, did it happen in the box or outside of it? It looks like it happened outside. We have a yellow card right here, and it appears to be the bench of St. Norbert.
An interesting sequence of events. It looks like a couple of Green Knights talking to the on-field official, as well as CUC's Giovanni Velasquez trying to figure out what's going on. That yellow card awarded to the St. Norbert bench.
It's a prime position right here for a free kick, almost about like 28 yards from the net right here.
Cougars really going to have to rely on that defensive wall. And Schultz with a nice save, as he was able to get to it with his left hand and deflected it at just the right time. Another really athletic play from the sophomore.
Another great save there by Schultz right there, readjusting himself and be able to track that shot right there as it was aiming up into the upper 90 in the right-hand corner of the net. But once more, Schultz demonstrating his tremendous ability as a goalkeeper.
Really nice play from Schultz as we officially get confirmation that the yellow card was awarded to St. Norbert's Aditya Kalisur, freshman midfielder out of Bengaluru, India. So now a yellow card also awarded to Everett Sager. So a couple yellow cards given to the Green Knights here in the second half.
So once more, it's another free kick. This time, however, it's almost about over 35 yards out this time.
So deeper kick, seems like. Both sides get set up and just hits off the top crossbar and rolls onto the track. So CUC dodging another bullet.
Yeah, he dodged a close one right there. So it was an in-swing corner right there by 18. Vendor Kerr right there. And he found his teammate right there and just a header right near, just went above the net. And another opportunity right there that St. Norbert has. It just, they can't capitalize. And for the Cougars, they are still hanging on right here, looking to eventually, hopefully, get a shot right here and potentially a goal soon.
So now that shot total for St. Norbert up to 17, 11 of which have been on goal. And when you're already up by 4 goals, it seems like the Green Knights are playing a little bit more conservative as there is a Cougar down on the ground. Not able to make out who it is. We'll go ahead and take a quick break in the action. You're listening to the Cougar Sports Network.
We appreciate you tuning into today's game. To stay up to date on all things CUC men's soccer, follow us on Twitter and Instagram at CUCM Soccer. We hope to see you on campus soon.
Second half action here on the Cougar Sports Network. Believe the Cougar that went down was Evan Perez as he was heading towards that bench, going to get checked out by a couple of the trainers. Hopefully everything is all right with him. And we mentioned that the Cougars cannot afford to lose too many of their starters considering the lack of depth. So hopefully Perez is all right as Green Knights going on offense once again.
Yeah, you mentioned it perfectly right there, Parker. You know, Perez, obviously one of the players who's playing the entire game so far. I mean, they've only used one substitution this entire game, the Cougars, which is Chris Dybaz. He's only been on the pitch for 8 minutes, while everyone else has been on the pitch, you know, for the entire game outside of Joseph Perez. So this is the last thing, you know, the Cougars want to see is someone on their starting lineup get injured.
And now goalie number 31, Zach Holmstrom, coming out of goal. St. Norbert has had a lot of leeway with their goalies not having to worry about making too many saves or any saves at all up to this point. We're now under the 30-minute mark here in the second half. That ball going to go out of bounds. We'll get a throw in from Giovanni Velasquez. Just kidding, it will be Andrew Lechuga. Now Lechuga is trying to get it into Joseph Perez. But St. Norbert able to take the ball right back. And now I believe it's going to be another offsides call. The 5th offsides called on the Green Knights today, and I kind of understand why that is, because the offense is moving at such a fast pace, resulting in the penalties.
And you hit it on the nail on the head right there, Parker. It just the fact that they've been able to move the ball so quickly into space and using sort of just their athleticism in general to be able to get behind the Cougars back line. The problem is, though, they're moving at a pace so quickly that they're just offsides.
Trying to get a bunch of those long passes off, and now a free kick from the Green Knights. It was number 23, Ben Swissionis. Nice header right there from number 20, Will Swissionis. So Will, the twin brother of Ben, getting some action here today.
There's one thing that, you know, before the injury time, you mentioned, Parker, how, like, you know, St. Norbert, they're playing a lot more conservatively. It's more of the fact that right now they just don't seem to be much in a rush right now, given the circumstances right now, just how the game has been playing out. You know, obviously up 4-0. You know, they haven't had much, you know, troubles, you know, against this Cougar squad up to this point. So for them, it's not more of they're playing conservative, but for more they're just taking more of their time in open space.
Now that's just a clear out right there from the Green Knights. You could tell that Cougars that have been playing a lot of minutes just looking exhausted up to this point. And speaking of that, St. Norbert going to put in a fair amount of substitutions. They take about half the players that were playing previously out and get a couple fresh sets of legs in there.
I think we might also have a new goalkeeper once again for the Green Knights.
And we do. I believe that is number 0, Nate Yacht. So now the third goalie of the afternoon we've seen from St. Norbert. Coach Derek Rhodes just trying to get his players some minutes. As the Knights dribbling down the pitch. Good defense again from Lechuga. He's not afraid to put his body on the line. Now, St. Norbert backed into the mid-third. They're going to kick it right back to Yachts. So, St. Norbert trying to get past the Cougars' defense, and granted, they did give up 4 goals in the first half, but coming out to start the second, Cougars have done a good job just not conceding any goals.
They've been a lot more disciplined here in the second half, and that's primarily the main reason why so far the Green Knights haven't had many opportunities to score on this defense. And give credit, to Coach Callahan and the rest of his staff right now for making some adjustments here at halftime and not allowing this game to get immediately out of hand like it did in the end of the first half.
Coach Callahan is assisted by Maz Shiraz Khan and student managers Juan Valencia and Joel Hacker. Made some good adjustments defensively for the Cougars.
Those are things, for Coach Callahan, that's all he could really ask for right now, given the circumstances right now. They've conceded 4 in the first half. The one thing now you want to do right here that you want to see your players do is not concede here in the second half and just sort of, look at that as a positive to end the game sort of like on a high note.
And I'm not going to say this lead is insurmountable for the Knights, as Cougars with a potential opportunity. Velasquez tripped up and hands are in the air. Didn't like the no call from the on-field officials, and now Lechuga going to take a tumble. Lechuga still on the ground. Looks like he's holding his left wrist.
I mentioned earlier in the broadcast how Lechuga have been playing really well, the past few games, and how he's sort of become one of the vocal leaders, for this defense.
Now he's helped up onto his feet by Julian Yanez. Cougars cannot afford to have any more injuries. The goalie in for St. Norbert, not Nate Yachts. It is Aiden Martinez Ponce, sophomore out of Racine, Wisconsin.
It is his first appearance this year for the Green Knights.
So a couple of goalkeepers for St. Norbert making their first appearance on the season. Couple whistles blow, and I believe the Cougars are going to go back on offense. But going back to the point, Cougars find themselves down 4-0. The lead is not insurmountable. However, we have what we've been able to pick up on from this Cougars team is when they're down by this many, it's been pretty hard for them to make a comeback.
It has, up to this point been a tough situation, for the Cougars. And I think the last attack they did right there with Velasquez, the big thing that I saw right there, which was, I think the issue the Cougars have had all day is just they're all too far away from each other, too isolated when they're the attackers. Because when Velasquez was on his own right there against the 3 defenders of St. Norbert, Pointer was trying to move up across right into the box right here. And then you had also Antonio Romero, away from Velasquez. And those are just things that, they have to start, doing a much more better job, position-wise when it comes to being in the final third. It creates some attacks.
And now Schultz, the nice save. Now up to 8 saves on the afternoon in his 68 minutes of play. As we are slowly approaching the 20-minute mark. About 21:05 left on the clock here in regulation. Now Smiriglia trying to make things difficult on the sideline for St. Norbert offensively.
now, this is the point right now where just the Cougars, they just looked, just fatigued and tired right now on the pitch. They've nearly been on the field for nearly 70 minutes in this game, and now is where the point where we start seeing them, struggle and not have, the sharpness that they did earlier.
That pass going to go out of bounds. As Schultz goes right behind the net to grab a new ball, and Cougars are going to go back on offense. Now we are at the 20-minute mark left to go in the match. As Schultz sends that one deep. And now Pointer trying to gain control. He is able to, looking for an outlet, gets it to Velasquez. Now going to go out of bounds and a throw in from the Green Knights. And now Martinez Ponce gets it to one of his teammates. Send it right back to Tyler Bonin. And now Green Knights with a potential opportunity, but squandered by the Cougars. Good defensive stand. And now Joseph Perez looking for Roberto Romero. Has that taken away by Stross.
Foul right there against Romero.
Now 12 fouls on the Cougars. Free kick awarded to Peter Strauss. Now the Cougars trying to track it down and get a potential stop, as the Green Knights have had a couple opportunities in that final third. Velasquez sends it on over to Joseph Perez. Now gets it back to Yanez, who's streaking down the middle of the pitch. Sends it back to Lechuga.
See right here on the near side, you see the frustration right here for the Cougars on this attack right here. And it just sort of amplifies, the struggles they've had today. Because Joseph Perez right there was questioning Lechuga's pass right there, considering he was right near him on the same touchline.
I think it's fair to say that the Cougars are well frustrated right now. It's been a tough season for the Cougars, but on the good news is it's a resilient group who they consistently show up to every match expecting to compete. Got to say that this team has a lot of heart, considering that they don't have a lot of depth, but a lot of these players who have to play the entire game play so to their heart's desire.
It takes a really tough-minded athlete, to be able to play the full 90 minutes, and so far, majority of these Cougars players have been forced to do that this entire season, so fair play to them, for that. And it's just not easy, because you're asking them not only to, go on the attack, you're also asking them to, play really good midfield and also coming back, playing more defensive. You're asking them to play all three facets of the game rather than just focusing on one, area, which has not been easy for these players to withstand.
Say that's a pretty tall order for the Cougars. Looking to avoid falling to 0-10. Now Norbert just playing a little back and forth, trying to eat some time off the clock.
Not only that, you just have for St. Norbert, you have a lot of players right now getting some game time, some experience right here, and trying to, become more involved in the rotation for the remainder of the season, but also looking towards next year, with some players, graduating from this team. They're going to be looking for the next players to step up for next year.
It is a good point. There are definitely quite a few seniors on this St. Norbert squad. We get a corner kick right here from the Green Knights. The 6th corner kick conducted by the team here in this match. Nice deflection right there. I believe that was off of Velasquez and ends up in the hands of Schultz. And now Schultz is going to send this one real deep. He's definitely got a strong right leg on him. And now Pointer not getting flocked like he usually is used to. The St. Norbert defense is kind of relaxed a little bit, so to speak.
And they've been able to relax really well, primarily just because of, the Cougars are playing a lot more, high up, particularly the front three of this Cougars attack, while everyone else is playing really a lot more further down, defensively.
And now Evan Perez back on the field for the Cougars, a good sign to see if you're to the team. We saw him kind of walk to the sidelines with an injury earlier in the half. It's good to see him back out there for sure. Now the Cougars are going to get a takeaway. Time winding down here in River Forest. And another corner kick right here from Norbert. It'll be their 7th one of the afternoon. An opportunity is good. St. Norbert tacks on a 5th goal. As it goes right past Schultz on the left side. Schultz tried to slide into the ball to prevent it from going in. It was unsuccessful. And now St. Norbert finds themselves with a pretty good-sized lead, 5-0.
That was a nice goal right there by the defenseman right there, and Peter Strauss right there, scoring on the bottom left-hand side of the net, just giving them their 5th one of the day.
It's Peter Strauss's first goal of the season. He's played in all 11 games for St. Norbert. So Green Knights really spreading the love around.
In addition to that as well, the assist is credited right there to Davis Vega right there, number 16, the freshman midfielder.
And notice the first goal of the game we said was awarded to Jonathan Hill. It was actually an own goal from CUC, though, so that was corrected in the stat sheet. So 3 St. Norbert players have scored on the afternoon. Peter Strauss obviously with the latest, Dominic Lagona with 1, and Tyler Bonin with 2.
Velasquez right here is going to get a yellow card. So what happened right there was, on the trigger right there was throwing it in. He did an improper throw in, and both Latrua and Velasquez right there were very frustrated, very angry. And Velasquez just kicked the ball out of bounds right there, in just frustration and pure, anger. And the referee, put him in his place right there, trying to give him a yellow card, trying to calm him down.
Cougars have a couple of hotheads on the team. Saw right there the frustration obviously brewing for Giovanni Velasquez, who got the yellow card for unsporting. So now we'll get a free kick from Velasquez, who is blatantly frustrated with how this game has turned out. An opportunity for the Cougars, but having a real hard time just with any creativity on the offensive end. A deep shot from Arias goes right over the goal.
That was the first shot for Arias today. We talked about it earlier on, how he was, critical in scoring those 2 goals in the last game right here Wednesday against ITT, but today hasn't been the same case.
Now under 10 minutes to play here in the half. Pointer with the takeaway. A potential opportunity. He tries to get the ball off, deflected as 3 Knights were in the area. Pointer just trying to get the shot off. And now the Knights with an opportunity. Just goes off the left foot. I believe that was number 25, Nate Thompson.
Yeah, Thompson was trying to shoot it right there in the near post right there, and he just whipped it on there that time, the freshman.
Just not able to corral the pass.
Yeah, but, going back to the previous, with Pointer right there, he did a really good job, intercepting the pass.
Looks like there is a Green Knight down on the field. We'll take another break in the in the broadcast, but you're listening to the Cougar Sports Network. We're back for more second half action as the injured Green Knight has walked off the field and a substitution made, and into the game comes number 19, Peter Alert, in for Peter Strauss. Once again, the Green Knights up on the Cougars 5-0. And really the storyline of today's match has been the shots. St. Norbert with 21 shots, 12 of which have been shots on goal. The Cougars only 4 shots. It's pretty solid difference in goals right there, and none of which have been shots on goal. It's really been the storyline for today.
Completely different from their performance this past Wednesday when they had, 12 shots, 5 of them on target against ITT, and today they just have not been able to generate that same, chances that they had on Wednesday today, and it's a statement of how well St. Norbert's been playing, today.
And now the Cougars just trying to generate some last-minute offense. Just really trying to end the game on a high note for the team, kind of boost their confidence a little bit. They got themselves in a pretty deep hole in the first half as they went into halftime down 4-0. They've given up 1 goal in the second half. And it's just been just a poor offensive performance. Want to get something going, just to have something good to look at heading into the week. This conference play is in full swing. No time to slow down as they're in the final month of regular season play. And if you want a chance to make it into that NAC tournament, got to start stringing together some wins.
You mentioned right there, they have a turnaround, against this Wednesday against Merriam. So today, it's going to be key for them to, look ahead and just sort of get rid of what happened here today and start focusing on next Wednesday and see what they can do differently compared to what they've done so far today.
We had a substitution into the game. Comes Alfredo Amarillo Ruiz in for Garrett Pointer. Now St. Norbert in that final third once again. Look, a chance right here. Nice defense from Schultz. Cougars just trying to get it clear out. Trying not to allow any more goals. Now a throw in right here from St. Norbert. Whistles blow. Cougars are going to go back on offense, approaching that 5-minute mark left in the match. St. Norbert done a excellent job of dominating possession, really taking time off the clock with their possessions. That went into Velazquez, who gets the header, looking for Chris DeBass. That pass going to just go out of bounds.
So far, with under 4.5 minutes remaining, the Cougars are still looking for their first shot on target right here. And right now, I think the key right here is just to get a shot on target right here, because the last thing you want is not only bad enough you're getting shut out, but not even having a shot on target offensively.
Just Cougars need a little bit of a morale boost at this point. Down 5-0. With the loss would drop to 0-10. The Green Knights would improve to 5-4-2. The Cougars don't have any time to get down on themselves. Like I mentioned, final month of regular season play, conference play in full swing. Things are really heating up in the season. First day of October. Can't believe it. It's already October. It seems like September really flew by. Now the Cougars trying to drive into that final third, but again, that St. Norbert defense has been stingy all day, really, no matter who's been on the field for the team.
That just demonstrates right there just the amount of depth and talent that the St. Norbert team has, because it seems like whoever's on the pitch for them, they've been able to do just an excellent job.
Arias tries to get a shot off, but just whiffs and misses the ball. And now Lachuca tries to track it down. He's not able to get to it in time. Now St. Norbert, once again, on offense, moving the ball down the pitch. that shot misses the goal off target. As we approach 2 minutes to go in the match. Throw in from Lechuga. Trying to get it to Chris Debass. And now St. Norbert. Number 5, Luke Beringer. And that is going to be goal number 6. St. Norbert just continuing to pour it on. That's their second goal of the second half. That goal scored by Luke Beringer.
Nice little job right there by the midfield sophomore out of Harlan, Wisconsin right there. Nice little dribble right there to go on his right foot right there. And a nicely executed ball into the back of the net right there to give himself a goal at the 6-1 for his team today.
It's now the 4th different Green Knight that has scored a goal. And St. Norbert just continuing to get it done on the offensive end. Also have been great on the defensive end as well, just playing well on both sides of the ball.
Also Beringer's first goal of the year and what is his 5th appearance for the team this season.
We're now under a minute to play here in River Forest between today's conference matchup between the Green Knights and Cougars. Lechuga just gets rid of that one. That rolls towards the CUC bench. Now St. Norbert working in the final 20 seconds. I think they're just going to try to run this clock out. Really no need to look for anything on offense. And that'll do it here in River Forest. St. Norbert College comes to CUC and steals one from the Cougars 6-0 to pick up conference win number 4. They improved to 5-4-2 overall. Cougars dropped to 0-10. And Roth, the story of the day was obviously the shot. St. Norbert, looking at the final box score, 24 shots, 13 shots on goal. Cougars only 4 shots, 0 shots on goal. I mean, just seems that every time we looked up that St. Norbert had something going on offense.
The creativity of the St. Norbert offense today is what propelled them to the win today. We mentioned just the vast number of goal scorers they've had today, and not only that, just the amount of players that have contributed on this team today and assisting for a goal. So just overall, a lot of depth and talent here on this Green Knight squad right here, which is going to be the key for them going the remainder of this next month in conference play.
So we'll real quick take a look ahead for both sides. So after picking up the win today, St. Norbert will be back at home next Sunday, so almost a full week off. Actually, that's exactly a week off, and they will take on Rockford University next Sunday. Kickoff set for 3:30 p.m. Meanwhile, the Cougars will be hitting the road on Wednesday as they take on Marion University. Kickoff set for 7 p.m., and then they'll be back in action next Sunday. Next Saturday at Milwaukee School of Engineering. Kickoff set for 3:30 as well. Real quick, want to give a shout out to our student workers that were able to make this production possible. On the camera was William Bishop Green. On the other camera, Jessica Gang, our producer, Sydney Lloyd. Down on the table was David Daimling working the scoreboard, Wyatt McLaughlin and the stats. Ashley Schroll, our student photographer, down on the field, Peter Borkowski. We are under the direction of Sydney Palaskis-Laher and our sports information director, Kayla McLeod. But as for me and my partner, Rafael Gonzalez, I am Parker Kelly signing off. The Cougar Sports Network wanting to say, as always, go Cougars.
Thank you so much for tuning in to today's Concordia University Chicago Cougars Athletics broadcast. We hope to see you on campus very soon. If you would like to learn more about what Concordia Chicago has to offer, go to cuchicago.edu.